from Fox Weather. Northern lights dazzle across lower 48 during G4 geomagnetic storm, the strongest solar flare of 2025. They're ranked from G1 to G5. Let me play a little bit of this for you guys, if it loads.
Aurora Fest here on Fox Weather at night. This is a picture that we just had sent in to us via the QR code that you see on your screen. Thanks a lot, Tina Peterson. That's Urbandale, Iowa. Goodness, that is something else, isn't it? Wow. You got the pinks, you've got the reds, you got the purples, you got some greens in there too. Oh, here's another one, Anaconda, Montana. I like it. Cameron Bright. Oh yeah, Cameron Bright is the name. That was from Montana. My bad on that. Trenton, Texas. How about that?
Texas.
Yeah, so you can see on some of these pictures, there's like a slight edit here or there. You know, a lot of people will try some of the long exposures. Sometimes it's not perfectly visible with the naked eye. But I think
Central Texas. I was talking with Ben Davidson. He's the space weather guy. His Twitter handle is, let me make sure I get it right, Sunweather. I can't see it right now because this is
Sunweatherman.
At Sunweatherman. And he made an interesting point. He said, there have been 10 instances where we were able to see the aurora in the lower 48 in the past 100 years. 5 of those instances were in the last 2 years. So I don't know how many of you saw the pink sky being posted across the board on X from Central Texas, of all places, where they could see it on the horizon.
Now, you mentioned the weakening of the magnetic field.
So the point is, this was a massive storm so powerful that the northern lights stretched way down to northern Texas. Some people posted photos from Florida of them being able to see this. And what Ben has argued is that the magnetosphere has been weakening. That's our shield against these storms. He actually posted the other night that, this is on the 11th, if the storm did not abate and if it kept it up for about 10 minutes longer, we'd be in the Stone Age. But fortunately, it did recede and weaken.
10 minutes longer and the field would have collapsed or what?
Well, I mean, maybe he's wrong, whatever. But his point was, he said, if this doesn't end, the world ends tonight. He said that on the 11th. Maybe he's just being sensational. We got a great sponsor. It is Beam Dream. Head over to shopbeam.com, my friends, /Tim Pool and pick up your Beam Dream, your nighttime sleep blend. Helps you sleep better. I drink this stuff every night. I swear by it. It is delicious. It's got melatonin, magnesium, L-theanine. It is fantastic. And right now, you will get their early Black Friday sale, 50% off. I really do think it's fantastic. And this is legit. I do drink it every single night. My sleep improved. I didn't even know it could improve. And now for the past several months, I've been having consistently good sleep. And you guys know that I recently had a baby. So that's pretty impressive. Good stuff, Beam Dream. But at least I will stress this. When in your lifetimes do you recall the entire sky turning pink, stretching all the way down to Texas? So maybe he's wrong. It's, oh, wow, look at this. But I'll tell you one thing. Billionaires are building underground bunkers in New Zealand and in Montana. They're building mountain bunkers. They recently announced a few years ago they're renovating Mount Weather. The question is, for what reason are the wealthiest individuals preparing to go underground? Honest question.
Have to face their God.
Maybe, but they certainly are preparing for something. And Ben Davidson's argument is, we could be looking at the big one, a polar shift, which weakens the magnetosphere, and then we get blasted by solar activity, and it fries the grid and sends us back to the Stone Age.
You know, I read a thing that was saying that they thought that we're near a stage for the flipping of the magnetic reversal of the poles and all that. So I could see, that would be bad timing for the sun to be extremely active during that.
If you live in New York when this happens, someone will eat your body. That's not even a joke. So you will get eaten. You will be food. No one in New York City knows where their water comes from.
I can't remember.
Where does the drinking water in New York City come from? Hold on. Nobody knows.
Springs.
There's water that runs down, a river that runs down into New York, and it's actually elevated, which supplies them with a decent amount of natural water pressure. But when the water stops flowing, because these pumps and these systems shut down, where will you drink water? So what are these people going to do? You are going to have, you got 2 million people who live on Manhattan Island fleeing in every direction. Yeah. You are going, the argument that what I told people is, I'm gonna hear rustling and chickens screaming. I'm gonna run out to my chicken coop with my shotgun, and there's gonna be a hipster guy with big bicycle handlebar mustache, and he's gonna have his cuffs folded up, and he's gonna be grabbing one of my chickens, and I'm gonna be like, "Don't move!" And he's gonna be like, "I'm so hungry," and he's gonna try running off with one of my birds because these people are gonna flee the cities desperate. Now the people who stay because they don't know where to go or they got young kids, people are gonna be drinking blood. Yeah. It's not an exaggeration.
There was I've said that there's this old televangelist who used to say this: if God doesn't smite America, he owes Sodom and Gomorrah an apology. Like, we are just getting to that point here. I'm sorry.
It's factory farming.
Is there anything?
I don't think it's factory farming.
Is there anything in the Bible about pink skies?
The sodomy. Well, it's actually interesting because I know this is not in the Bible, but in Fatima, there is or in the Revelations of Fatima, there's some discussion about signs in the sky, but that's usually related to the Second World War because there was an aurora. There was like a unusually low aurora in the sky right at the very beginning of the Second World War.
I think we're experiencing what's called the Zanabikov effect. You could pull up a video of it, Tim.
There's like a sign in the sky in Revelation, but it's not described this way.
When a magnet rotates in space, it flips occasionally, and then it continues to rotate, and then it flips again and keeps. It's called the Zanabikov effect. You can pull up a video of it. It's basically because there's no flat lines. There's no straight lines in reality. We're always bending and tilting, and magnets, when they start to fall over, they spin really fast and they twist. We're about to face that.
And that's happened to Earth many times. I can tell from the rock.
Okay, so I asked Rock, how many times in the past 100 years was the aurora visible in Texas? And it said, in the last 100 years, between 1925 and 2025, 6 to 8 times the aurora has been visible in Texas. And then it says, the ongoing solar cycle has increased occurrences 4 to 5 events since 2023. That is, of the 6 to 8, 4 to 5 of them occurred in the last 2 years.
How long is this sunspot cycle supposed to last before it calms down?
It's peaking It's peaking this year, and the lowest point of the cycle will be 2030, I believe.
Okay.
So it's now going to start going down, meaning this may be big, and then 2035, I think, would be the next big one.
Okay, we got 10 years.
That's what Ben said.
Yeah, let's make it happen. That's why AI.
What do you mean, let's make it happen?
This is what let's make it happen, Seamus. It is what AI is helping us build.
Graphene Faraday cages?
Well, yeah, sure, stuff. First we need our power lines underground. For sure, we
can harden all our circuits against pulse
underwater.
Too.
So technically, the issue is that this would be. I'm not going to presume to know what degree of protection you're going to need, but the point is, underground is not protected.
Underwater.
Underwater is arguably not protected because it has to make contact at land at some point. And the issue is that the currents are going to fry every system. So your undersea cables may be working, but they're connected to nothing.
If they're underground and underwater, if we could somehow create layers of fluid on top of an underground power lines, that might be the only way to.
They
really
have
protect.
to come up, Ian, so we can use them.
Yeah, directly up into that.
And that will fry the systems.
Well, I mean, really, we should all have our own power source. Ultimately, we should all be.
Well, it's a matter of the quality of the circuits, right? I mean, the military circuits are made to spec to be resistant against H-bomb EMP pulses. So that may not be the same for all of our electricity infrastructure and all of that.
Yeah, definitely not.
But it could just be a matter of figuring out. Well, if the sunspots are going to launch, if they're going to shoot this much radiation at us, then our circuits need to be made of this quality copper to withstand the pulse or whatever.
So let's just pause real quick and what's the problem if our grid was wiped out and went back to Stone Age?
Water. Water's number one.
Well, the violence.
That makes no sense. Let me ask the question
water.
again.
What do you? Oh, you're asking Scott.
Ian, you are not listening. Why is it a problem if we lose all our technology?
We don't know how to do anything without it. We're entirely dependent on it.
All the suffering you already described.
Our collective
our
knowledge.
society.
Well, we have very high-tech farming.
Okay, wait, hold on.
We have very productive farming, and that would end. That's what you're talking about.
Who is our society?
We are, but as individuals, our ability to cooperate is contingent
we?
upon this technology. Each of us as individuals. Society is made of people.
Uh-huh.
And our ability to cooperate is heavily contingent upon the technological infrastructure we've built up to enhance the cooperation.
So again, what would the problem be?
We'd be incapable of communicating, trading, producing.
Who is we?
Individual human beings living in the society that you're describing would be incapable of carrying on in the way that we have become dependent upon carrying on.
Why is that a
We'll
problem?
die.
You will die?
Many people will. I hope not. I'm not dying.
A lot
I'm
of
built
people
different.
You were just describing what would happen.
Indeed. My point is, the argument, unfortunately, comes to a point where there will be a logical conclusion, it would be a good thing.
Oh no, I agree. It could be if it's God's will.
Do you think the flood was a good thing?
Well, exactly, it was God's will. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I thought you might be going there.
You
but
see?
Yes,
I was getting you there.
No, I know.
What is this?
We need to protect our son.
If society got to the point where there was wanton like child sacrifice, mutilation, degeneracy, drug abuse, just sin, gambling, vice, casinos popping up everywhere, borders collapsing, war in the Middle East.
Hey, America resembles that remark.
Exactly.
My point is,
no, I agree.
There may come a point where someone says, maybe it's time to build the boat.
I don't agree.
Well, we have microcosmic examples
I'm not saying
of
it's
this
right
all the
now.
time.
I'm saying there is a point at which people would say it's the flood.
Is there not an element of just escapist fantasy involved in this? Not only what we're talking about, but also Gen Z's pathological obsession with the idea that we're going to face climate collapse within our lifetimes, or at least within Gen Z's lifetime. Like, they fantasize about living in a world where they have to surrender to circumstances that are too overwhelming for them.
Yeah, but those people would starve to death.
I mean, so what? We're all just supposed to start a homestead? Like, that's not a viable plan for most people.
That's too bad for most people.
And most people don't make it.
Life was never fair. And only in the last 100 years did people think they could live off the government teat and not have to work. There's that viral video of the 17-year-old, or not 17-year-old, the guy with $17,000 in his bank account. And he's like, why do I have to work? And it's like, bro, you would have not survived 200 years ago.
Modern
Holy
society.
crap.
Or he would have been way cooler. You know what I mean?
He would have been way
He would have built up his ability to do things.
The thing is, we get more and more productive all the time. And so you need, for example, fewer and fewer farmers to feed bigger and bigger cities full of people. And, you know, there's famous economist back a couple hundred years ago named Malthus who said we're overpopulated. There's too many people to feed.
He was a dirty dog.
And then he was discredited because people realized that, you need more people to produce more, to feed more, and it works. And as long as it's property and freedom and free exchange that allow for society to create the things that we need for each other to prosper. So I think as bad as things are right now, as bad as you can imagine them getting, there's always ways to move positively forward rather than praying for the asteroid or the H-bomb to come.
I'm going to throw it back to Seamus, who said,
"Oh no,
if God does not smite the United States."
It didn't come from me originally, but that's hilarious.
Apology.
Yeah.
And that's why I brought up this point that
Yeah.
there is a logical point by which things could get so bad. People would, like, I know the, giant meteor of death is a meme. It's a joke. Like, we don't really want to get wiped out. There is a point by which people would be like, please send the meteor of death.
Yeah.
Not the meteor. The EMP is a better example because it resets everybody to baseline, and it's basically like the Hunger Games. Good luck, you might win, probably not.
It's funny.
Meteor is you're dead. Goodbye.
Serge and
I'm with Musk on this. Everybody gets their own Millennium Falcon, colonize the galaxy.
Sure. Good luck.
Serge and I were talking about this the other day, but you have these different environmental adaptations people develop over time that gave them a better ability to survive. But now with the processed foods, it's actually like bad for you. And it's like, dude, 300 years ago, I would have dominated your village, but now I get rashes from bread. It's like, it just completely inverts and subverts.
I think
what humans have
when
become.
you see morbidly obese people on SNAP benefits, I'm like, that's a really, really bad thing for a functioning society. There's that this viral video of the woman who just won in Seattle, the commie, and she was like, "No, what did she say? No longer will food be only for those who can afford it." And it's like,
When has it ever been that way in the United States in anyone's memory?
But think about the math of this. It's deficit economics that we will constantly take from those who produce and give to those who don't. Ultimately results in you run out of money in your bank account. That's communism. It doesn't work. So we are headed to that point, whether we want it to or not. Whether it's going to be a giant G5 magnetic storm, which wipes out the grid, or productivity just halts because communist governments are rising up and stealing everyone's resources, we are getting to the point where you're going to really wish you were homesteading. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.